Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling fences, decks, maybe even tossing in a gazebo for good measure.
Huh.
Looks like someone's got outdoor projects on the brain, am I right? You brought us this W-bar-Y Fence Company PDF. Wants us to dig in with you.
That's right. Consider us your home improvement Sherpas, I guess you could say. We'll climb this PDF mountain of information and see if this company is the real deal, if they're a good fit.
Love that. Okay, so what do we have here? Looks like a snapshot of this W-bar-Y Fence Company. First things first, they're located in Brighton, Missouri.
Brighton. Yeah, that's just a stone's throw north of Springfield, if you're familiar with the area.
Right, so we're talking Missouri. Gotcha. Anything else about their location that stands out?
Well, more than the where, it's the how long. They've been around, established in 1978. That's what, almost 40 years in business?
Wow, that's not just surviving, that's thriving, especially in the construction world. What do you think that says about a company?
40 years is saying something, that's for sure. Think about it. Economic ups and downs, building codes, changing like the wind, new materials, all that. To weather all that, that's experience you can't just, learn overnight.
Definitely makes you think they've seen it all, dealt with it all, so they've stood the test of time. But what exactly do they do? They don't just, put up fences, right?
You're right, it's not just fences. They do a bit of everything when it comes to outdoor structures. Fencing, sure, that's their main thing, but they also do decks, gates, pergolas, and gazebos. They even do arbors and pool fences, it looks like.
Wow, okay, so they really do cover the whole outdoor space. That could be a huge plus for some people, right?
Yeah.
One-stop shop, no need to deal with a bunch of different contractors. On the other hand, does that make them a jack of all trades, master of none? Do they specialize in anything in particular?
That's the million-dollar question. They do call themselves a full-service fence company, but then again, they also mention handling residential, commercial, and industrial properties. So they're not shying away from, anything really. It's about finding that sweet spot between being versatile and being a specialist, I suppose.
It's like choosing a restaurant. Sometimes you want that hole in the wall known for its incredible one thing. Sometimes you want a diner with a menu the size of a phone book.
Exactly. Now, speaking of getting a feel for their style, there's something else here. They really want you to know they're family-owned and operated. Father-son team running the show, Terry and Josh Whiteley.
Yeah, they definitely seem to be playing up that personal touch. They even invite you down to their showroom for, get this, a cup of coffee. And not just any showroom, a 16,000 square foot space. I mean, that's bigger than some grocery stores I've been in.
They're selling an experience, not just a fence. It's like, come on in, relax, let's chat about making your outdoor dreams a reality. At least that's the idea they're going for.
It really makes you wonder about their customer service approach. Are they all about building those relationships, making you feel comfortable?
That seems to be the vibe they're going for. And hey, maybe that's something you value, that personal touch, knowing you're working with, actual people, not some faceless corporation.
Oh, absolutely. Especially for something as big as a new deck or fence.
Yeah.
You want to feel good about the people you're trusting with that. Speaking of feeling good, they don't shy away from a little self-promotion either, do they? They call themselves the best fencing company in Springfield, Missouri. Bold move.
Yeah, no kidding. Confidence is great, don't get me wrong, but it definitely makes you want to, look a little closer. Like, okay, back that claim up.
Little healthy skepticism is always a good thing, right? Like they say, put up or shut up.
Mm-hmm.
So confidence is there, but it's up to us to see if it's, the real deal.
Exactly. That's where our deep dive really comes in. We've got their sales pitch. They're carefully worded. This is us at our best. But to get the full picture, you got to dig a little deeper, right? See what's there, what's not.
Read between the lines.
Yeah.
For example, I'm noticing a lot of talk about experience, family values, but not a whole lot about the actual process, the materials they use, that sort of thing.
Good catch. Yeah, they mentioned those 3 decades of combined, industry knowledge and hands-on experience between Terry and Josh. And they mentioned the samples outside their mega showroom.
Which, let's be honest, is basically a constant invitation to come on down and see for yourself.
Right. Which isn't always a bad sign. It could mean they're confident in, letting the work speak for itself.
True. But it also kind of puts the ball in your court as the customer, right? Like you got to go that extra mile.
Exactly. Think of it this way. They've lured you in with the promise of coffee and that family business charm. Now it's your turn to ask the tough questions.
Right, like what kind of wood do you use for your decks? Or, hey, what about warranties? Those nitty-gritty details that maybe aren't as, flashy in a brochure, but pretty important when you're talking about this kind of investment.
Exactly. Which brings us to another interesting omission pricing. They don't breathe a word about actual costs anywhere in this whole PDF.
But to be fair, is pretty standard for home improvement. Every project's different. Different materials, square footage, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, absolutely. It'd be impossible to give a one-size-fits-all quote without, knowing what they're dealing with. But there's silence on pricing. It does tell a story, doesn't it? It's a strategy. They want you in that showroom, sitting down for that personalized consultation.
It's a classic, come on in, let's chat over coffee approach. Could go either way, to be honest. On one hand, you get that tailored experience, right? They figure out exactly what you need. But on the other hand, is it just a way to avoid talking numbers until you're, well, already invested?
That's where your inner detective comes in. Don't be afraid to ask those direct questions. How do they structure their pricing? Hourly? Square footage? Do they at least offer free estimates?
Getting that information up front can save a world of headaches down the line. It's about transparency, feeling good about the people you're working with. So we've got experience, we've got the whole family-owned angle, the mega showroom, even the strategic lack of pricing. What's the verdict so far? What are we thinking?
Well, they definitely want to come across as established, customer-focused, all about that personal service. But like with any good story, there's always more than one side.
And in this case, hearing those other sides could make all the difference in deciding if W-Y is the right fit for you. It's like we've heard the company side of the story, right? But what about the people who've actually hired them? What's their experience been like?
Exactly. Time to see how those promises hold up in the real world. And luckily, we live in the age of online reviews.
Right. Google reviews, Yelp, Angie's List. Those are gold mines for this kind of thing. See what people are saying, good or bad.
Exactly. Look for those patterns. Are people raving about their professionalism? Or are there, red flags popping up? Projects going over budget, delays, that kind of thing.
And don't forget about the power of, local knowledge. Anyone you know in the Springfield area who's had work done.
Oh, for sure. That first-hand intel is invaluable. It's like reading a travel brochure is one thing, but talking to someone who's actually been there, totally different story.
Totally. They might be able to tell you things that wouldn't even occur to you to ask.
Yeah.
Like, how does W-Y handle things if something unexpected comes up after the project's done?
Right. It's about getting that 360-degree view. This deep dive, it's giving you a good starting point. You know their history, what they offer, their whole vibe, even some questions to ask if you decide to take it to the next level.
Exactly. But now it's up to you to do that final bit of digging. Fill in those blanks and see if they're the right fit.
And hey, if you do end up at that mega showroom of theirs, sipping coffee, let us know if they brew a decent cup. Always appreciate a good customer review, even for coffee.
Absolutely. Until next time, happy build, everyone.